My first top 10 in about a month, as I promised. Top 10 Zelda items. Wow. Okay. At number 10, we have the Rock's Feather. Rock's Feather appeared in 2 Zelda games. Perfectly the one from Link's Awakening is an item that helps you jump over one-gap areas. And it's very useful for early on, and it's actually used throughout the whole game. But it's not that useful in retrospect, and it only appears in 2 games, so that's why the Rock's Feather is only number 10. At number 9, we have the Deku Nut. Please don't have a dirty mind. The Deku Nut first appeared in Ocarina of Time, that you can use to stun enemies. Rarely used in the first temple, and it's also used in Majora's Mask as a main method of attacking, as well as you can use it. But it's most of all, these two are just these two and the next item on this list are. Thought I was gonna burp there. Are just weapons that are only used at the beginning of the game, but I still like them nevertheless. Next, on to number 8. Dangerous to go alone. At number 8 is the Wooden Sword. The Wooden Sword appeared in 1986 in the first Legend of Zelda, along with many other games in the series. But this is the first sword Link has ever used. And it shoots power to shoot sword lasers when you're at full health in every game it has appeared in. It is got a very nice design for 8-bit graphics, and it's actually featured in a mobile game. Gets points for that. And it's very cool for NES standards. It's probably my favorite weapon, and overall, it's great. Number 7, however, is kind of a ranged weapon, and everything else is pretty neat too, but next number 7 is going to be a lot of fun to commentate on, because there's tons of these things. Sick of dealing with a lot of pesky enemies? I am. At 7 is the bow and arrow. Bow and arrow has appeared in almost every Zelda game. Except for, every Zelda game. In the first game, you had to pay a rupee to use it. In other games, it's gotten better. And there are so many of these things. Fire arrows, ice arrows, light arrows, the best one. Bomb arrows, of course by glitch. But these are awesome. The arrows are so good. Use them so many times. Need to hit a switch? Use an arrow. Need to destroy a high enemy? Use an arrow. Need to just take care of someone pesky and you're not sure of your skills? Use an arrow. Overall, the arrows are awesome. The number 6 item on this list is actually kind of required to finish a temple. Wow, shocker. At number 6 is the Lens of Truth. Lens of Truth first appeared in Ocarina of Time and appeared again in Majora's Mask. It helps you see things that are originally not there, such as extra platforms and some enemies. It is very helpful and probably my favorite item in Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. That is saying a lot, considering a lot of these items are in all Zelda games. But overall, Lens of Truth is awesome. It's kind of required to beat the game, especially since it is a temple item. Everything else on this list is either a temple item, optional, or just plain fun to use. But overall, that's the first half of this list, so I will see you guys for number 5. At number 5 is a long staple in the Zelda series, the bomb. The bombs first appeared, I believe, in Zelda 1? Yeah, they first appeared in Zelda 1, along with the next item on this list. Correct me if I'm wrong, viewers. The bomb is a very useful item, used for blowing up cracks in walls, defeating bosses faster, and all around it's just a great item to use. It's, I believe, in every single Zelda installment, aside from that Tingle side game that nobody remembers. The only reason I know it exists is because of Zeldapedia, but beside the point. The bomb is a very useful item, so that's why it gets the number 5 slot on this list. At number 4, we have the boomerang. The boomerang is used in most Zelda games, as it is a staple. Its use is it can get Skull Shell tokens for you in Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. It can defeat enemies quicker. It's the weakness of some bosses, and it's a fun item to use. it can hit multiple opponents at once in certain games, and I think in all games. I'm pretty sure I'm worried about that, but it's a very useful item. But not as useful as the number 3 item on this list. At number 3 is my favorite what I call utility weapon, the hookshot. The hookshot has many different incarnations, the long shot or the claw shot. The claw shot being my favorite in Twilight Princess. There, Zelda fans, you don't have to hate me. I'm giving Twilight Princess some love. But overall, the hookshot is amazing. You can get to higher places with it. You can grab on the chests, spots on the wall. You can defeat enemies, and with the case of the grappling hook in Wind Waker, you can take stuff like Bokobaba seeds, chew jellies, just items like that. But the hookshot is great because you can get to places faster. And number 2 is a nice way to warp too, but sadly it only appears in one game. But it's much more useful. Number 2 is probably the second to last item from Ocarina of Time, Fayor's Wind. I know it's not technically an item, but more like magic. But from the goddess Fayor, what is she the goddess of? I can't remember. I think she's wisdom. There's 3 goddesses for those who don't know: Fayor, Din, and Eru. Fayor's Wind is something you get, I believe, a little early. I don't know, don't quote me. I haven't actually played through the game, but I just love it. I've seen a lot of LPs. But overall, Fayor's Wind is awesome. You set it one place, you can set another. You can work back and forth to those places. A little bit more useful than the hookshot, but you have to keep resetting it if you want to place it somewhere else. The only reason this is higher is because it's actually a really good item for only being in one game. And the number 1 spot, well, from some Zelda fans, you may be actually surprised. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, here we go. At number 1, the Bunny Hood. The Bunny Hood, for those that don't know, which I don't know if you haven't played the series, the Bunny Hood lets you run faster. You can get it in Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. But it's more useful in Majora's Mask considering, I don't know, you kind of need it to go faster. And I think it is needed to beat the game. Considering you have to give it to, spoilers, there's some kids on the moon you have to give masks to, and I think that's one of them that is one of them you have to give it to. But overall, let's talk about uses. This is such a great item. Makes you look cute. Well, that's not use of the item, but I just think it makes it look interesting. It helps you run faster, and it's very cool looking in terms of, I'm just staring at the image and it looks very cool. But overall, the Bunny Hood is my favorite because it actually helps the game because you get to go faster, and it's my favorite item because of, I don't know, it's probably just appearance and my own judgment that's getting the better of me, but I love the Bunny Hood, but that's why it's number 1.